What's going on? Welcome back to the Western Star Movie Reviews. It's week five, I believe. Week six, week five, I don't know. But we're back here again doing the traditional movies reviews. I said I was going to have five reviews, but I have four reviews. Um, because Sunday Night Football will overflow your schedule um, mostly all the time. And I tried to make it work, but I couldn't. But I have four reviews instead of the five that I said. And this weekend, I will have only probably two reviews because schedule conflicts and stuff. But I might try to get three by the end of Monday. Um, so if you're brand new, welcome to the show. And we're going to talk about all the really good things that have come out. Um, got good things to talk about with movies and probably some news in the universe. Halloween ending on a huge whimper. Uh, Superpets, a super fun film. Rosaline shaking up the story of Romeo and Juliet, and Bridge Hollow traditions are kind of a little bit iffy. Plus some news upcoming and heading into the weekend or last weekend, whatever that stuff is. And if you're brand new, um, get used get excited because this is gonna be good to talk about these films, my opinions. Hopefully they're not, detrimental to anybody, and I just want to make sure that it is a fun thing to recommend what everybody wants to watch and what's not to watch. All right, so let's get started with the first review that I want to talk about, the big one that is out this weekend. Halloween Ends. The newest film from Blumhouse Universal. It is the newest Halloween movie in this new trilogy that they did, directed by David Gordon Green, written by him and Danny McBride, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Andy Matichak, Will Patton, and a bunch of other new characters. And this is the final chapter of the Halloween movies. This is it for a while until another studio wants to say, you know what, I'm going to rewrite the whole story and do it again. I was excited for this movie because number one, I love the 2018 one. I thought it was a great return to the franchise. It did a lot of things that the other Halloween sequels don't do, where it's like it's trying to be like, you know what, we're just going to continue with the story and not make an impact on anything. That movie did great, and it was a smash hit, made a lot of money, and thus he had some sequels, and sequels weren't that good. Halloween Kills, which came out last year, was eh, mediocre at best. Wasn't bad, wasn't great. It was just mediocre. It was slightly below average than what I wanted it to be. And I wasn't expecting much from that because it's Halloween Kills. It's like he kills around kills people, and the townspeople are just like evil dies tonight and stuff. This one I was actually really excited for because it is the ending of the whole franchise with Laurie Strode. This is Jamie Lee Curtis's final appearance as um, Laurie Strode, Michael Myers, and this movie, it's pretty much the final chapter, the final fight between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. Michael Myers is back after hiding, and he's gonna go and fight Laurie. That's pretty much it. Now that is the light plot. God, my head. Yeah, my head. That is the light plot synopsis. Because the actual plot is kind of spoilerish. It's kind of spoilerish right now, and because in none of the promotional images that they shown show the actual plot of the movie of what it's supposed to be and what it really is trying to tell. And I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to say anything. Um, and so I was really nervous because the embargo didn't lift until like an hour before, 2 hours before the movie premiered on Thursday at 5 p.m., which was 3. The film was streaming on Peacock, so it had a simultaneous day release, and it's just not. I didn't think that the last movie was well received, and it didn't. It didn't. It lost a lot of money, so I was really nervous for this movie. And I hated this movie. I hated it. I was really disappointed. It does everything that it shouldn't have done. It does everything that it doesn't need to do. Where it's a bait and switch movie. It is a passing of the torch movie of characters I don't care about. It tries to do so much more than make a satisfying conclusion. It tries to tell a new story about a new character that I don't care about, and it's like I- I'm not trying to spoil anything, but all I'm just gonna say is this movie is not good. It is terrible. I also think that you should not go see it. Well, I would recommend you go see it just because it is the final chapter in Laurie Strode, so I want you to know how it ends. I also think that if you have a Peacock subscription, don't watch it with this Peacock because it is streaming on Peacock for free for 60 days. And that's, I think, why the reason why they want it, because Peacock is nobody likes Peacock, nobody has it. So it's like, oh, let's put it on here, and Halloween ends. Oh, that's cool. Let's have that. Nobody cares. This is a movie that is pretty much like the first 20 minutes of the movie are like, you know what, they're actually good. They're setting up something good, and then it becomes a completely different movie to the point where it it pretty much is like like it's not, the dialogue is not good and the writing is not good. The everything about this movie just falls apart, and it's a shame because I really did enjoy the 2018 one. I did enjoy the 2020 Halloween Kills. That was a fine movie. I didn't think it was great, but it's not terrible, but it's just stupid. This is bad. That was stupid. Um it is pretty much like the lore of this movie makes no sense. They do some things, they tackle on some new ideas. They try to mix in this whole other character that I don't care about, that ruins the entire movie, and it pretty much focuses on this character sometimes way too much, and I don't like it. I don't like the fact that they did this so much in this movie. And at a point in this movie, my dad tells me, like, says this is stupid. And I said, I don't know. And then by the end of the movie, when it ended, my mouth was dropped. Like, I just can't believe, like, and I walked out of the theater, like, with all these people, like, saying, like, mixed things about it, and it's like, yeah, it's not good. It's not a good movie. I'm sorry. This isn't a good movie. I wanted it to be a good movie. I wanted it to be a fine movie. I didn't think it could have been like this be all end all film that will be like the best of the trilogy or the best of the franchise. I wanted it to be a satisfying ending that will be like, you know what? I think the legacy can live on. This legacy is done. Like, no more Halloween movies for at least 10 years or 20 years, because this is not how it ends. And the story that they told was not good. And that being said, the actual plot synopsis of this movie is completely different. Now, the plot synopsis that they did give before was something that I thought was weird. And this was the original plot synopsis before, like, Wikipedia changed it to the whole movie. Where they do that, they update their profiles on their movie websites or sections, and they give us like the actual plot. So the actual plot, like the original plot of the movie, like the actual, like, mini, like, non-spoilers plot, is that there's that Lori, she's working on a memoir. It's been 4 years since Hills. Her daughter passed away. She died of Michael Myers, and now Allison's trying to, live her life. She lost her friends, her family, and she's living with her grandmother in a new house in Haddonfield. And all of a sudden, there's a new guy who's babysitting the kid. The kid dies, and it's like, oh no, he is charged with the murder of this child. Or who is it? It's Michael Myers. And that is what the vague synopsis is. Um, that's not what the movie is. And the trailers that they showed you were giving, like, way too little information. Like, the movie is like, the trailers for this movie told you a lot about what happens at the latter act in the movie. Like, the last 40 to 30 minutes of the movie is what they show you in the trailers, where it's like everything that's good in the movie, because the first half of this movie is boring. Like, I was bored out of my mind watching this movie, which is shocking because I never felt that in Kills. Hell, even in Kills, I never felt that in 2018 one because nothing is it's setup after setup after setup with this character that I don't care about. And it just does everything. It's a passing of the torch movie with characters that I don't want to lead this franchise. I don't think that the acting was terrible. I think that the acting was fine. The kills were good and the score is good. You know, Jamie Lee Curtis is Jamie Lee Curtis. She is incredible in these movies. It's like a Call of Duty match where it's like you have the veteran, you have the master prestige person who is like really good at the game, and then you have all these other people that are gonna be like, you know what, you're gonna get to where I am at this point. That's the entirety of this movie. It's people that are trying to lead this franchise back again, and it just doesn't work. And when you're trying to do that with the Halloween movies without Jamie Lee Curtis, it feels like it's an incomplete film because it's nowhere near as good as some of these other movies. Now, yes, you can argue the fact that, well, H2 or Halloween H2O or what are these movies, well, they had Jamie Lee Curtis, but they weren't as good. But at least they tried. This movie doesn't try. It doesn't do anything to help the franchise do anything. They take a lot of hints from Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. They downgrade the comedy. There's no comedy in this movie. There's no jokes. Like the jokes in this movie, there are none of them. There's like one joke in the beginning where this kid's like talking crap about this babysitter, but that's it. There's no joke. There's no jokes in the movie, so the humor is gone. The suspense of this movie is gone. The final 20 minutes of this movie are really where it delivers. Like the last 20 minutes of this movie deliver, and they matter because you're like, oh, is one of these people going to survive? Is the other one? Are they both going to survive? Are they both going to die? It's like, what's going to happen? And it's fine. It delivers. The actual ending, what they do at the end is stupid. And it kind of is like, really? That's what you could have done that? This ending, the last 20 minutes feel like the ending to the last movie, Halloween Kills, where it's like, you killed my daughter and now I'm gonna come for you, Michael. Come meet me here at this house. And it's like now they have their fight. And that could have been the ending of that movie. It could have been like Halloween ends. And then it's like right after, or they can combine the two, the Halloween 2018 one and the Halloween Kills movie with the last 20 minutes of Halloween Ends and put in Kills, and they could have made like a 2.5 hour movie. But then again, it would bore the hell out of people. So I mean, that's what they had to do. They had to make it into a trilogy. It just like I don't know. It disappointed me. It was really a massive disappointment. I'm really like just like I was a headache. I had to get something in my mouth. I had to go. I went to a McDonald's, but then it was a long line, so we drove to a Wendy's, had a chicken sandwich. I had to get something out of my mouth because I was just so blown away by how the movie ended. I was unbelievable. It was unbelievable how this movie ended. The logic in this movie makes no sense. I mean, the logic here I would say is better than the one in Kills because like Michael Myers gets shot like 8 times, and apparently he lives in the sewers now. He's in the sewers for like 4 years, and he's alive somehow. It's like an 80-year-old man, and he lives in the sewers, and he's just fine. It doesn't make any sense. Without getting any spoilers or anything, what they do with this kid, this character, and Michael is ridiculously stupid. It's so stupid. It's like the lore is completely ruined. I don't know what to do with this movie. It is not a good movie. It is not a great movie. It is not a terrible movie. This is a bad film. Like this is a very very bad movie. And at a point I was like, this is like this could be like a C minus or a D plus. But at the end of the movie, it kind of was like it was fine. But it's overall this is a D minus. It's not a good movie. Um, I would give this is a 3 out of 10. This is not a good film. 1.5 out of 5. This is everything I didn't want a Halloween movie to be. This is really bad. This is below average. This is a below average horror movie. It is nothing compared to the other two movies. Even though the last movie was not good, I would give it like a 5 out of 10. It was a fine film. There was half of it I enjoyed, half of it I didn't like. There's some people out there who liked it that were like, yeah, it's entertaining. This is just bad. Like the last one was stupid and dumb, but it was fun. This is bad. This is bad and dumb and stupid. Like the 2018 one, I give a 9 out of 10. Halloween Kills, I gave like a 7 out or 5 out of 10. This one I gave a 3 out of 10. I was close to a 2. I almost gave it an F, but I was like, Jamie Lee Curtis is fine, and the kills are fine, and Andy Manichak is fine. Which, by the way, Andy Manichak, after this movie, follow her on Instagram. Perfect. It's not good. It's not a movie. It's one of the worst of the year, and it's disappointing to me because I really thought I couldn't hate this movie more. It was bad. I was angered by this movie. I was frustrated, and it's just not a good film. It's not a movie, so that comes in first review. Next up, let's talk about um, what else I gave this week, and that was what I was watching on Thursday Night Football, because Thursday Night Football last weekend was boring. Nothing done on Thursday Night Football. So genuinely, a movie had to happen. It was in the there was a Commanders versus the Bears. Bad game, but what was not bad is what I was watching. That was another film I had to admit I watched, and that is the DC League of Superpets. And funny story about this one is that the movie came out the same day, July 28th, when previews started, the same day that The Wilds got canceled. Prime. Uncancel The Wilds. Give me a third season right now. I'm going to rant about that every single stream. I'm going to bring it up every single stream. I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring it up. I don't care. So this movie, DC League of Super Pets. I'm going to read you the cast of this movie. It is an animated DC film. And I'm going to give you guys like the cast of this movie because it is insane. Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Kate McKinnon, John Krasinski, Vanessa Bayer, Natasha Lyonne, Diego Luna, Thomas Middleditch, Ben Schwartz, Keanu Reeves, Olivia Wilde, Jamila Jamil, Jameen Clement, John Early, David Diggs, Keith David, Alfred Molina, Dan Folger. I didn't even know Alfred Molina was in this movie. I just realized that. Holy cruds. Holy cruds. Can't curse on here. But yeah. So this is a DC animated movie that is tells the story of Superman's dog, Crypto, and a shelter dog named Ace, who work with other animals to save superheroes from Lex Luthor and Lulu. This is a PG movie. Back when the box office came out, the movie made $202 million worldwide, 93 in the United States, made opening weekend $23 million, which was coming at the low end of expectations. Rotten Tomatoes, 73%. Although it never quite soars, DC League of Super Pets is a more than satisfactory diversion for families in search of four-legged fun. And that's what this movie really is. It's fun. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It wasn't damaging. It was funny. There was a lot of funny jokes in here. There was a lot of good humor in this movie. There's a lot of good cameos that happened in this film that I thought was fine. And that's really the basis of this movie. Like, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a fun movie, and that's what I got. Is it great? No, there's some things in this movie that could have been better. I thought that it could have been, handled better with the villain. But the best part of this movie is the comedy with Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson, they're best friends. They work together with each other. They have all these jokes with each other. They're fun. It's fun to watch them both, argue with each other and be funny. And that's what you're really going into. But it's really for the kids. You're having fun. No kids were at where me and my father watched it, but it was fun. The voice acting's fine. Some voice actors didn't like. I didn't believe that's you can voice that. Lex Luthor, whoever voiced Lex Luthor was a terrible Lex Luthor. Keanu Reeves voices Batman, which is awesome. Keanu Reeves voicing Batman is always music to my ears. And speaking of Dwayne Johnson, he's upcoming Black Adam, which is what I'm going to be talking about hopefully next weekend or next stream. Black Adam. hoping to be good movie. So far, reviews have been mixed, 52%, but I'll see if that drops up or down later. Um, so the story is fine. It's emotional. Um, it's a whatever movie. Um, quality casted good. There's funny jokes in here. Dialogue feels a little bit rushed. It is a short movie. It is an hour and 49 minutes, which is a little bit, which is honestly standard for an animated movie. There's all sometimes these animated movies where they're like an hour and 29 minutes or an hour and 30 minutes. So it's like very short, but it's fine. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 7 out of 10. I go B, just a solid B. There's nothing really to talk about. It's a fine movie. It's just a fun film, and I think it didn't do no harm to people. It didn't do no harm to kids. The action that they filmed is cool. The animation, it does look a little bit cheap. It is a $90 million budget anime movie, so it's not like Pixar where it's like this 150 to $200 million budget film that is like super expensive. It's not like that. It's a very cheap movie, but it's fine. I enjoyed it. It's not bad. It's just okay. With that down, let's move on to movie number 3, and that is this. I'm gonna skip over. I'm gonna go to Rosaline. Rosaline. This movie was something I actually forgot to watch last weekend. Oh no, I watched it. Came out this weekend, so I watched it on Monday over Monday Night Football, which was uh what was it? It was Broncos versus Chargers. So let me find the review. Okay, so pretty much the movie it stars is directed by Karen Main, written by Scott uh, Nost Noster Nostatter and Michael H. Weber. It's produced by Sean Levy, who directed Free Guy and is also directing the upcoming Deadpool 3 movie, which is awesome to hear, and also the Adam Project. It stars Catelyn Dever, Isabella Merced, Kyle Allen, Christopher McDonald, Minnie Driver, and Bradley Whitford. And it's pretty much a based off of a novel of Wish You Were Mine, from Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare, and I knew it was Shakespeare. I knew it. I thought it was I thought it wasn't Shakespeare. I was going to use Shakespeare in the description, but I didn't. And so, pretty much the story about this movie is that there's this girl who kind of met. This is kind of like a spin-off for Romeo and Juliet, where it's like, before Romeo and Juliet, it was Romeo and Rosalind, and then something happens, and obviously Romeo finds Juliet at this ball, and now they are dating, and Rosalind's like, wait, what happened to me, you know and so it's weird to tell the story about this movie because pretty much I'm just going to probably spoil the whole thing. So pretty much what happens is, uh, it's a secret. Her dating is a secret. Her dating this guy, Romeo, is a secret. And so he what is it, he is her father wants her to marry somebody, obviously, that's way too old for her. She looks 20 years old. She's probably like 16 in the movie. That's what they do nowadays. They get like 20 to 25-plus-year-old actresses to play like high schoolers nowadays. It works, but we can tell. And so she's her father, played by Bradley Whitford, is asking her to marry these old people, and it's like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to tell you who I'm dating, and so she she is now in this kerfuffle where she is now supposed to be going on this romantic date with this guy that her father brought, played by Sean Teal, and he is kind of like a Australian or a British guy, and he seems nice at first. He's a nice guy, but she's supposed to go to this ball with Romeo, and of course that goes haywire, and so she's nowhere to be found, and so Romeo runs into Juliet. They fall in love, and things happen, and then Catelyn Dever's character tells Juliet like, "Oh no, I actually." Everybody knows who he is, and it's like, oh, I'm not the first girl that he said that to. It's like, no, no way. Haven't you ever heard of cheating? It's an old Shakespeare novel, but I would figure that. But um, things happen, and stuff. Eh, I didn't care for this movie. I honestly didn't care. I thought it was fine. It wasn't terrible. It was just like, whatever. What can you do? Um, I did enjoy the performances. I think the performances are really good. Catelyn Denver is very funny in the movie. She's really good. Um, Isabella Merced, or whatever her name is. She's done the movie. She was in Transformers. She was in another Netflix movie that I watched last year called Sweet Girl, which was a terrible action movie. She used to be in some Nickelodeon stuff, but she's all grown up. She's fine in the movie. The other performances: Kyle Allen, Sean Teal, good. Christopher McDonald, she's fine. Minnie Driver plays the nurse of this movie, and it's weird because I didn't know it was Minnie Driver, and then it thought in my head of a Family Guy joke where they're talking about, it's hard to get Minnie Driver's head on screen because apparently they're making fun of the fact that she has such a huge head, and you know it's kind of ridiculous and over the top. Family Guy is full of jokes, but this movie, it's a short movie. It's an hour and 34 minutes, which is like very short for a movie like this, but it feels like it should have been longer because the story is very rushed. Um, like just things happen out of nowhere and it gets a little crazy. And you're not really expecting a lot. You're not expecting like the most you can get from a movie like this. And so one to I'm not really into romance movies, so I didn't expect a lot from this movie. It's a mediocre film at best. This and the other one I'm going to talk about are mediocre films. It's really good shots, good cinematography. It is beautifully shot. I mean, the scenery that they got to shoot this movie is incredible. It looks really good. It looks really neat. It looks interesting, and it doesn't shy away from the fact that this is taking place during the Shakespeare times. So there's some acting in the movie that's a little bit over the top. Some lines of dialogue that are stupid, that are dumb, that are terrible, but it's not a bad movie. It's just a mediocre movie at best. I wouldn't recommend watching it, but it's just not a I'm not asking you to watch it. I'm just like, you know what? It's on there. It's on Hulu. So it's not like, I mean, the other movies that we had on Hulu, Hellraiser was a good movie, but Prey was a really good movie. So Hulu's been recently killing it. I would say this is better than those, but I would give it a C minus. I would give it a 5 out of 10. It's average. I mean, I would probably go actually with 4.5 out of 10. It's a little bit slightly below average, slightly, very slightly below average. So I wouldn't watch it. I mean, it's fine, but it's whatever. All right. Next up, we're gonna move on to another movie, the next movie on my list, and that is The Curse of Bridge Hollow. If I can find the okay. So, The Curse of Bridge Hollow, pretty much goes as it is a horror comedy directed by Jeff Wadlow, who directed Truth or Dare and Fantasy Island, two really bad horror movies. And if you remember from my Spine review, I showed you a picture of the Truth or Dare with Sophia Ali from the Wild, and make sure Amazon you renew a season 3 sooner or give it to somebody else who will actually do it for you. Keep doing it. I'll keep doing it. I'll keep bringing it up. I'll keep bringing that up. If you don't like it, tough. Just kidding. Actually, I don't care. You don't need it. It doesn't matter. But I would recommend watching it. I'm trying to be hilarious right now, and it's clearly working. As everybody's laughing. All right, so this is a horror comedy. It's on Netflix, and it's pretty much about there's this family who moves into this town, and the father's like, I don't like Halloween. I think it's stupid. It's dumb. It's too over the top because there was this incident that happened when I was a little boy with skeletons, and it's like, no, I don't like Halloween anymore. And her daughter's a little bit upset because they're moving from Brooklyn to this town, and there's this old history about this one person who used to be in this town, Stingy Jack, that haunts them every Halloween. Um, and Halloween decorations start coming to life, and they must save a small New England town. And I could tell it was a small New England town from Boston because one of the women in the movies in this movie has an accent, sound like a Boston accent, whatever. This is the same thing I feel about Rosaline. It's a very mediocre movie. It is not well, like, the CGI and the special effects are terrible. Like, they're really bad in this movie, but it's a Netflix movie. I wasn't expecting much. There's some good jokes in there, some funny actors in there. Marlon Wayans is a little bit too over the top, but Kelly Rowland's in this movie. Rob Riddle's in this film. Um, it's fine. I wasn't bothered by this movie. I give it the same grade I give it. I give it a 4.5 out of 10. I give it a C minus. I don't really know if there's anything to really talk about with this film other than the fact here's the thing. This is an hour and 29 minutes. It's under an hour and a half. So it's very quick. Like it's like the plot happens in like the first 20 minutes or the first 15 minutes, and then it quickly dissolves into chaos. And that's really what the movie's doing. I didn't really mind it. I didn't hate it. I didn't bother by it, but it's not like something that's gonna bother me forever. I just watched it, just for whatever. And I thought it was fine. It's nothing too spectacular. Nothing out of the ordinary. But whatever. So um yeah, I didn't mind this movie. I didn't also hate this movie, so I'm gonna say, like I said, I'm gonna give this a C minus. I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 10. This is one you can probably just skip it. You don't need to watch it. Um okay. Uh I was actually 32 minutes of reviews for movies. The rest of the movie now we're gonna get into the news. So let me pull up some news topics to talk about because I have a bunch of them to talk about. Um, so let's talk about the let's talk about the box office of last weekend. Because that's one of the topics we're going to talk about, and that is this. So Halloween ends. Oh God, I hate talking about this one, but yeah, we're going to talk about Halloween ends again. Because this is main top box office or movie news topic number one. Halloween Ends was projected originally to make 50 to 60 million dollars, 50 to 55. It was supposed to be the ending conclusion of the saga. Opened actually to lower than that, and it made only $41 million. $41 million, which is very weak. So this comes from us from Deadline, who wrote the following. Projections for Halloween Ends were expected to come in around 55 million and now settles at 41.2 after a 13 million Saturday. Clearly, tracking didn't account for the actual day-to-day factor. Universal says that Halloween Ends is the most watched film or series ever on Peacock over a 2-day period. Numbers weren't provided, but no third-party streaming analyst Corp Samba TV measured Halloween Kills smart TV viewership over 30 days last year at 2.8. Halloween Ends opening is also 8.2 less than Halloween Kills 49.4 million in the box office. And that sequel opened at a time where there were more big films in the market. And also, who the hell is that? Um, and also, it was in a pandemic era, so people were going into theaters actually, like towards the end of the year. So and the movie cost 15 or $30 million. So let's talk about this for a minute. Because this frustrates me. I don't know why Universal has been recently releasing their films on Peacock and in theaters. All right, let's look at this for a minute. We had we had Firestarter, which was awful. Come out in theaters and on Peacock, and that was where Doctor Strange opened out a week before, made $180 million. Of course, it was going to continue to dominate the box office in weeks to come, so they had to do it on Peacock. Didn't really matter. The movie cost $12 million to make and made a budget worldwide of $14 million, so it bombed. Another movie that came out on Peacock, Hunt for Jesus, Save Your Soul. I don't know anything about that movie. All I know was a movie that was coming out. Nobody knew what it was, and it's on Peacock. So there you go. Franchise that everybody knows, Halloween. And I understand that the need for Peacock last year was because, hello, pandemic, just to make things better. If you don't want to, if you still don't like to go back to the theaters, you can watch it at home. Understandable. This is October 2022. We don't need another day-to-day streaming release. We don't need this. But apparently, Universal was like, you know what? It was one of the most watched movies on Peacock last year, Halloween Kills. So you know what? We're going to do it again. And they lost probably about $10 to $15 million. So this movie could have opened to like $56 million or even $60 million if you count all that money wasted. Because this is ridiculous. When is it going to come clear that day-to-day streaming services are just not good? I'm going to say right now, look what happened with Warner Brothers with all those HBO Max simultaneous release date movies. Matrix bombed. King Richard bombed. Many Saints of Newark bombed. What else did I talk about that bombed? Cry Macho, Malignant, Suicide Squad. Let's see. What else did I talk about? Mortal Kombat was probably financial, Space Jam bombed. Reminiscence, massive bomb. The Little Things bombed. The only profitable movies that were on HBO Max and in theaters were Tom and Jerry, Godzilla vs. Kong, The Conjuring, and Dune. Out of like 16 titles, 4 of them made over its budget and were profitable in theaters. It doesn't. And yeah, Halloween Kills $20 million budget and made 132 million worldwide, but it lost them from the 250 million worldwide that the 2018 movie came. It lost 120 million dollars that could have been all in theaters. Now they're going to look at probably less than that because they couldn't be like, you know what, we're going to go theatrical only because that's where these movies belong. Horror movies belong in the theater. Well, here's the thing: they did not have faith in this movie because they wouldn't have released it on Peacock. They wouldn't have. The Black Phone was a great horror movie. They had faith in it doing well in theaters, and it did well. What else? Smile. They didn't release it in Paramount Plus because they saw it did really well with critics and audiences, and it did well in the box office. It's at 137 million worldwide on a $17 million budget. Nope. It Again, they had faith in the movie. It was shot with IMAX cameras, and it made 170 worldwide on a $60 million budget, and it was profitable. So Universal clearly had faith in those movies. They didn't have faith in this one because they knew it was terrible. So there you go. That's why they released it. And that suffers from box office. See, Disney original streaming movies, there's a reason why you don't see Disney original movies, like not based off of remakes or sequels, anymore in the theater because they're on the streaming service now. It's all about the remakes and the live actions and the sequels, the animated movies. That's all in theaters. None of those original things on streaming. When is it going to be clear that you can't put these anymore on streaming? 2023, there's not going to be any movies with streaming. If there's going to be one movie on streaming, which is day-to-date release, and it's a really big movie that's coming out next year, it's probably not going to do well in the box office. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not. Because let's be honest, day-to-day streaming sucks. All right, next up, let's talk about another movie that's coming out this year, and that is Damien Chazelle's Babylon. So I watched the trailer for this movie. It stars Brad Pitt, Tobey Maguire, Margot Robbie, and a bunch of other people. And it's a movie about, I think it's about, uh, wow, actually, hold on a minute. Um, Actually, you know what? I'm actually gonna look this up real quick. I'm sorry. Um, I'm sorry. Hold on a minute. Right here. Okay. So The premise of this movie is directed by Damien Chazelle and is set in the 1920s during Hollywood's transition from silent films into sound films, where films were starting to become the movies that we know and love right now. And it it's pretty much about a Mexican American actor, Manny Torres, pursuing a career in the 1920s Hollywood, starting as an assistant. It stars all these people. It also stars Minghella, Samara Weaving, Olivia Wilde, Spike Jones, Catherine Watterson, Flea, Phoebe Tonkin, Chloe Fineman, all these other people. It is scheduled. It was originally scheduled for December 25th. Or actually, here's the thing. So it was originally scheduled to come out last Christmas, December 25th, 2021, for a limited release. And then it was supposed to have a wide release on January 7th. And then it was also supposed to have a limited release on December 25th of 2022 because the pandemic hit. And it was supposed to have a wide release on January 6th. Well, they recently just moved it up and it's going wide all around the world. It is going to be released on December 23rd, 2022. Um, okay, that's fine. The only thing about that I would complain about is the fact that the movie apparently is let's see, how long is this movie? It is 188 minutes long. It is 3 hours and 8 minutes long. This movie about the entire 1920s, about Hollywood, is 3 hours long. I'm gonna sleep. I'm probably gonna freaking sleep. I'm interested in this movie. I think it looks fine. I think it looks cool. It's, funny. It looks fine. I think it's gonna have great performances. I'm probably gonna be bored out of my mind, but I will have to judge it. It's coming out Christmas time. I don't think I'm gonna be able to review it on the channel because I don't know. I think chat classes are ending. I don't know if this continues throughout the years, but whatever. I don't care. That's what I mean. So yeah, that's Babylon, and now let's move on to the big one, which is coming out this weekend, and that is Black Adam. Finally, of long years of Dwayne Johnson wanting this movie, Black Adam is finally coming this weekend. October 20th is Thursday previews, and Friday is a release, which I am going to see on Friday. And I think we can be honest, the box office, or I can be honest, the box office hasn't been the best. There hasn't been a movie to score big in the box office since Nope, which scored 44 million opening weekend. And obviously last weekend, Halloween Ends opened up with $41 million. So, I mean, that kind of counts. But the Hollywood temple has not been where it is since Bullet Train or Nope, which happened in July and the beginning of August. Black Adam is a movie that has been really anticipated by a lot of people. A lot of people have been excited to see it. Dwayne Johnson has been very passionate about this project. He has been really hoping that this movie would be great for people. And I got to be honest, I'm really excited for this movie. Reviews are coming out. They're a little bit mixed. I'm still excited to see it. I already bought my tickets. And Deadline is projecting that Black Adam is raging towards a $135 million worldwide opening. The movie arrived hot on domestic tracking this month with a $65 to $75 million projection. However, if that forecast has come to 60 million, especially with reviews currently at 53% on Rotten, I don't think that's going to change anything. This movie's going to make a lot of money. It's a superhero that a lot of people have been wanting to see. There might be some continuation of a DC movie character. There's been a lot of speculation on what this movie is going to be about, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with this movie. And I'm really hoping that this movie is going to be good. And if the movie makes over 60 million, this will be the biggest film of Dwayne Johnson's career, not including the Fast and Furious movies. The Mummy Returns, which he made a small cameo of, or a small opening of, made $68 million on its opening weekend. And Jumanji, which he led in, made $59 million. If the film overperforms, it'll be because there hasn't been much out there for fanboys since Bullet Train. And so that's that. And also, what's interesting about this movie is that it was originally going to be R-rated. It had to take a lot of edits to get PG-13. It took 4 cuts from the MPAA to get PG-13. So there's gonna be some brutal stuff in this movie. and it's not going to be good. It's not going to look pretty. It's not going to look pretty at all. I think that it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be really entertaining. Also, it could be a little bit interesting how they made this movie. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to be doing with this film, and um, I just hope that it connects well with people. I heard it's an entertaining movie. The action's really good. Dwayne Johnson's good in the movie. Story's a little bit wonky. So I don't care. I'm going to be excited for this movie. I'm going to be interested in this film. So I mean, I was always interested from the trailers. So that gets me excited enough. So with that said, I think there's one more topic that I'm going to be talking about, and that is, um, actually, do I have another topic? I don't think I do have another topic. I think that's it. Unless, yeah, I don't think I do. I think I have. I think that's all I wanted to talk about for today. I think this is a very short stream. But you know, probably the next stream is going to be even shorter because I might have two movie reviews. I'm probably going to go a little bit longer to talk about the movies. Um, I don't know what the movies are going to be. I know one of them is going to be Black Adam. I don't know what the other one's going to be. Probably going to be either Mr. Harrigan's Phone, which I have been saying over and over again. I'm going to review Mr. Harrigan's Phone, Mr. Harrigan's Phone, Mr. Harrigan's Phone, or it's going to be the new Netflix film that's coming out called The School for the Good and Evil, which is based off of a book starring Charlize Theron and Kerry Washington, Michelle Yeoh and Lawrence Fishburne. Morpheus from the Matrix. Um, so I'm very excited to review those movies. I'm also excited because the next weekend after that, there's going to be 4 movies I'm going to be reviewing. Hopefully, if continuing that. So one of those 2 movies, Mr. Harrigan's Phone and School for Good and Evil, will be next weekend if I don't have time to review one of the others. Then it's going to be 3 movies I'm going to be seeing on those weekends. It's going to be Run, Sweetheart, Run, Pray for the Devil, and Wendell and Wild. And those movies are really exciting. I've been waiting for Run, Sweetheart, Run because that movie was supposed to come out 2 years ago, and it was bought by Amazon, and they never said when's the release date, but they just said it somehow in 2022, and it finally got a release date of October 28th. So I'm really excited for that one. And then November comes around. We got movies coming out. We got I think Enola Holmes 2. We got the Weird Al Yankovic story, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I already bought my tickets like weeks ago. Fablemans, some other films coming out. There's a lot of things. Thanksgiving's coming out. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good November for movies. Um, so yeah, I think that's gonna be it for the stream. If you guys enjoyed it, thank you so much. Tune in next time, October 26th at 12 o'clock. I will see you guys next time. This is the Western Star movie reviewer signing off. Um, Fight the good fight, Gales. Yep, said that. Thank you.